guys, this is Marie and I'm back with another video, and this video is going to be Hermit Crab Carrot Guide Plus Review. So let's get started. So in this video, I will be showing you and talking to you a little bit about everything that is inside of the Hermit Crab Carrot Guide, and also giving you guys a full review of everything that is true or not true in the Carrot Guide. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, as you guys can see at the title of this video, this is going to be a super fun video because I am finally getting around to actually film this video for you guys. I have been wanting to do a Hermit Crab Carrot Guide review for so long, but when I got this back in January or February, I had tucked it away and totally forgot about it. And I happened to find it the other day, and I'm so excited to actually sit down and review this Hermit Crab Carrot Guide to see if they are doing the correct things for Hermit Crab new owners, and make sure they're telling them the correct things to how to take care of your Hermit Crab. Now, this Carrot Guide is from PetSmart, and this PetSmart that I went to that had this was they had them usually by close to the end of the back where the hermit crab tanks are, like the fish tanks and everything. Usually it's on like a little end cap that has like all the different type of carrot guides for all of the animals, or sometimes they will have them more up in the front on the end cap where like the lizards and stuff like that is. It depends on your PetSmart. All PetSmarts are completely different. It took me a few minutes to actually find this. I actually had to ask somebody if they had them because I couldn't find them at all. And of course, the lady showed me where it was, and I pretty much passed it when I was walking by it. So that was kind of crazy. But I'm not sure if Petco has these carrot guides. I would believe and think they would, but I've never really paid attention and noticed if they did have them. So if you guys did see them at Petco, let me know in the comments down below. And if you guys want me to do a Petco care review guide of the hermit crabs, if they do have them, I would definitely do that. I would love to do a like the differences of PetSmart and Petco to see exactly who is telling the right thing and not the right thing. So that would be pretty cool if they do actually have those. I would take it since they pretty much had the same, almost the same animals at PetSmart. I figured they would have the carrot guide, but you never know that they would. But this is what it looks like. It's just a little booklet thing that's pretty simple and easy for new hermit crab owners to just pick up and read inside and everything. So in the front of it, it just shows you getting to know your hermit crab, and then it has like a little cute little purple pincher hermit crab. And then on the bottom, it just says PetSmart Carrot Guides. So that's pretty much what it looks like right there. Now we're going to go ahead and open it up and see exactly what they are saying inside. So here is what it looks like inside of it. It's a pretty good, easy carrot guide for new owners. So the very first on the left side, it says social and chirping hermit crabs. They carry their homes on their back, and that is true because their shells are actually pretty much their home, and it protects their their body and everything like that. So that's pretty much true. Let's see. The next thing it says experience level is a beginner. I would believe yes, that is true because hermit crabs are pretty much a very good beginner pet for young children. I would say between the age of I would say between 8 and up, I think would be perfect. It depends on your child and if they're ready to have a hermit crab or any kind of animal. But to pretty much to start off with a hermit crab, I think that would probably be the best thing. Fish are probably a little bit more difficult for a young child, but I think a hermit crab will be pretty simple as long as they are getting the right information. So I would say the age between 8 and up would probably be the perfect age. Maybe even 6 and up. It depends on the parents and the child if they think they are ready for that. So I would say probably between 6 and up or 8 and up would probably be the perfect age for a child and the parents to have, get a hermit crab for the very first time. Okay, so the size will be hermit crabs grow up to 6 inches. I'm not really sure if that is true or not because I've never really noticed how big they get and what's the size of it. So if you guys do know that answer, let me know in the comments. I know they can get really, really big if they get taken care of correctly, and especially out in their normal habitat, they can pretty much get huge. I have seen huge hermit crabs on other YouTube videos. They are probably the size of my hand, and this is the size of my hand right here. So I've seen hermit crabs this huge. So I wouldn't be surprised if 6 inches or even bigger is the right size of growth up. The next thing is lifespan. They live up to probably up to 10 years. I would say probably yes if they're on land, and since people are catching them and bringing them into PetSmarts and other pet stores, I would say yes, probably up to 10 years. It depends on how you take care of that hermit crab. But if they're actually in the correct, they're in their own home where they're not getting taken from their normal home, I would say they probably could live even longer. But probably land hermit crabs that are getting put into hermit crab pet stores and stuff like that, I would say probably 10 years, yes. The next thing is habitat. Hermit crabs live on land, not in water. That is true. They curl up in empty shells for protection, especially when they molt, shed their skin, of course, and then changing shells as they grow. Yes, that is also true. They do curl up inside of their shell if they seem like they're threatened or scared or something is going on or something is trying to get them. They will go inside their shell and hide, so that is correct. And then also they do stay in their shell when they are molting, so that is also true. The next thing is behavior. Let's see. Behavior. Okay, there we go. It says their name, hermit crabs thrive in groups. You can also handle them carefully, but they may chirp or pinch if threatened or scared. That part is kind of true. I don't think I know they are fully group hermit crabs. They absolutely love to be all together. They can be thousands and millions of hermit crabs, and they like to be in groups. They love to stay together and stick together. So when they are actually in their own habitat, there are probably millions and millions of hermit crabs all together, climbing and jumping and doing walking and everything like that. Yes, that is also true. That's why they always say to have more than one hermit crab in your tank, because they do like to be social and thrive better in groups than just by themselves. So that is also true. Yes, if you handle your hermit crab carefully and nicely and not take your hermit crab and like throwing it around and just putting it into the hermit crab tank, just throwing it in there or having it out, climbing around and then like hitting it and stuff like that. Yes, of course, that is not carefully making sure your hermit crab is safe and carefully handled. So yes, that is also true. Now, the part where it's saying chirping, I've never seen or heard a hermit crab chirping when the hermit crab is threatened. I never heard of a hermit crab chirping when it was threatened. Now, if it's threatened or scared, it could pinch you. It depends on what is going on with the hermit crab. Why is it being scared and threatened? That's a point where, yes, it might pinch. Now, if it's out in its own, like, habitat, yes, it would probably do that. But being into, on land, into somebody's ownership and holding it, the hermit crab, as long as you're not sitting there taking something and poking the pincher to where it getting threatened and scared to pinch you, there should be no reason why that hermit crab would be pinching you or trying to pinch you. Now the chirping part also, the only time when I used to have hermit crabs back in our old house, in the middle of the night, I would heard maybe one or two of them chirping, but I don't think they were threatened or scared. I think it was between the two hermit crabs. Usually when they're like around each other and stuff like that, they usually chirp, but threatened or scared, I'm not sure exactly if that's true. I never heard of that, so if you guys do know that question, let me know in the comments if it's true or not. And then on the bottom of the care guide, it shows you a little hermit crab tank. I thought it was very cute how they put a picture of a hermit crab tank in here. So it says a hermit crab terrarium, or another way we like to call it is a crabitat. So we're going to go ahead and look at this tank, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into detail of every single thing in here to see if it is correct or not correct. So we have little A, B, C, D up to H, and then it tells you like the different ones right here. So the very first one is A, the tank. So looks like the tank is probably about a 10-gallon tank, I want to say. So that is a perfect size for a hermit crab. I'm trying to say if this is your very first time owning a hermit crab, I would say go ahead and get a 10-gallon tank, because you're going to need at least 2 hermit crabs to be in the same tank. So I would say go ahead and get a 10-gallon tank. That would be the perfect size. This looks like the perfect size of a hermit crab tank. And also your hermit crab tank should be glass, like an aquarium tank glass, not plastic or anything. So that is another good thing that I like about this tank. So they did good on that part. The next thing is B, is a hood. It says aluminum. I can't say that word, but it says a hood. So they have right here, it looks like a hood with a screen on it. And that's pretty much the same as that thing that I have on my hermit crab tanks. I have a screen lid on. The only thing I would say for them to maybe put next to it is to actually cover the screen, because it shouldn't be out like that. It should be covered pretty much with duct tape or some kind of tape to keep the humidity and the heat inside of the tank. So that would probably be the next thing I would say to go ahead and put in there, would be to cover the lid for it. But the lid is correct. That is the correct lid, so that's perfect. The next one is C, live or artificial plants. That is also true. I don't know about live plants. I've never heard of anybody putting live plants inside of a hermit crab tank. I mean, you probably could, but I'm not sure how well that would be. So, fake plants would probably be even the best route to go. So they do have some plants in here. I see a big like tree plant, and then they have like a plant right here. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if it's like a grassy plant that they put on the bottom. But I would probably say maybe put a few more plants in here. They probably could have put maybe another one on this side, and maybe a few more in the back, so they can have more climbing and more plants to hide into. Plants are very important inside of your hermit crab tank, because hermit crabs like to climb and they like to hide. So plants are an awesome thing to have inside of your tank, so they can actually hide and climb on the thing at the same time. And I do have plenty of plants and hiding spots inside of my tanks, so they absolutely love their plants. The next thing is D, their food dish. Now the only food dish I see is the one over here, so it looks like a good size. I would probably say maybe a little bit bigger, but I think that's pretty decent size right now. But I would say in the future I'd probably put a bigger food bowl. And I would probably do 2 food bowls, because right now I do have their main food bowl, and then I do have that ceramic leaf bowl that I have, and that one is for just like their fruits and vegetables. So I basically do have 2 food bowls. So I would say probably add maybe another food bowl to this one, but it looks like a good size, and they got food inside of it, so that's pretty cool. The next thing is decor and hiding. Let's see. They don't have a lot of decor in here. Like I said, they only have like the plants right there, and then they have this long tree, like branchy thing right here for them to climb. So I would say probably a little bit more of maybe one more item to climb on, where they can like move around and hide and climb on it. But I mean, that's a good size like decoration that they have right there. Maybe one more thing I would say. Like I said, more, maybe a little bit more plants and more hiding spots or decorations. Now, even maybe like one of those coconut huts, probably put in there too. So that looks good. Now, I see something wrong already, and it says F gravel. So I'm taking this side is gravel. Yep, there's the F. So that is a big no-no. If you guys are watching and listening to this, please do not put gravel inside of your hermit crab tanks. One, because the gravel is not perfect, and also the little pieces of gravel, especially if it's small, it can actually get inside of your hermit crab shell, and it can hurt their stomach and their abdomen, and it can hurt it so bad to the point where it can squish it, and it won't be able to come out of their shell, and it can hurt them and also kill them. And number 2 is gravel is not good for their substrate because they cannot dig underneath it to where they can bolt and hide and de-stress. So gravel is not a good idea to have in your tank. So please do not put gravel in your tank. So if I would say to Pet Smart, please do take this out. Don't even put gravel in there. It looks like they got some kind of like soil or dirt right here. So they did like half soil and half dirt. Now, they shouldn't have done that. I think they should have just left out the gravel and went all full soil. Then that would have made more sense, and I think that would have been a lot more better. So I would have scratched off gravel and put maybe like soil or sand or something, or put both on there. They could put they could put soil and like sand. I think that would have been a lot more appropriate and more better for them to have that. But gravel, no. That is a no-no. Please do not use gravel. Please do not use gravel. The next thing is G, and that's water dish. It says big enough for a pet to soak in. Okay, so let's see. Here is the water bowl. It looks pretty decent size. I would probably go a little bit more bigger. But the only thing that you guys don't see, we don't know if this is the freshwater or the saltwater bowl. And of course, they only have 1 bowl in here, so they need 2. So I would definitely say they need to put on the bottom, they should put like a little 2 right there, and then put water bowl and saltwater bowl. I think that would be a better option for that. The next thing and last thing is H, and that is a thermometer and hygrometer. I can't say that word, but they also have that in the corner right here, so that is perfect. I would say probably put it more in the middle right here. I have mine in the middle, and it makes it more where you can make sure the temperature is flowing, the humidity and everything is flowing in the middle of the tank. So they do have one in there, so that is also good. So I'm glad that they do have that, but I would say put it more probably in the middle. So everything that is on here, I would say probably F needs to be taken off and put sand and soil. And then also the water dishes, I think they need to put 2 dishes, and they should say water, and they should say salt water or fresh water and salt water. Other than that, everything else looks pretty decent and correct. And then they also have shells right here too. They should have added that on the end. They should have just said multiple shells, empty shells, and that pretty much looks awesome. On this side, let's see what we got on this side. This is the right side. And the very first thing it says, how to set up your hermit crab aquarium. So it says, house your hermit crabs in a terrarium that has 5 gallons of space for every 2 hermit crabs. Now it's 5 gallons per a hermit crab. So in this tank would be probably a 10-gallon tank, would be saying 2 hermit crabs. And if you guys look very closely, they have 3 hermit crabs in here. So I would say that is kind of wrong. I would say 5 gallons per hermit crab. So you can get up to 2 hermit crabs in this tank. The next thing is create several hiding spaces in your habitat and add at least 2 larger empty seashells per hermit crab using future housing. That is also correct, so I'm glad they did that. They said create several hiding spaces, and they said also at least 2 larger empty seashells. Now I would say not larger, but I would say probably multiple sizes. So whatever size hermit crab you have, if you have a small hermit crab, I would say add maybe 2 more small shells, maybe 2 mediums, and maybe 2 big ones to give them a lot more options. I try to have all different types and sizes of shells, depends on what kind of hermit crab you have. So that's kind of correct, but I would say multiple ones, not just 2 large empty shells. The next is add under tank heater if desired. They must be at least 1 inch of bedding above the heater. Now, I would say take that out and not put underneath heater. I don't think that would be correct. And that is also one thing that they forgot to put right here. They should have said a heat mat on the side or the back of the tank. And they didn't put that on there. So I think they should add that to the little sample thing. So I would say not under tank heater. I would say either a hermit crab heat mat or like to put on the sides or the back like I have it. The next thing is it says the temperature and humidity for hermit crabs should be between 70 and 75. I would say probably between 70 to 80. My tanks are usually between 75 and 80, and that's perfect. 80 could be the highest it could go, and I think that's even better where the humidity is perfectly. So I would say between 75 and 80. So I think they should say between 70 and 80, and not 70 to 75. And it all depends on where you live at and how cold your house is. It says keep the humidity level at 50 to 80%. Live plants will help maintain levels. Mix with spray bottle if needed. I don't know about the live plants. I've never had live plants in my hermit crab tank. I've never heard of anybody else having live plants in the hermit crab tank. So I'm not sure if that would be correct. But the other part they have on here, it says mist your spray your tank, like mist it and stuff like that. So that is definitely a must. You should be able to spray your tank and mist it out at least once a day or once every other day, just to make sure that humidity stays up correctly and temperature. It says add a shadow dish with water for your hermit crab to soak in. Make sure the sides of your dish are low enough that the hermit crab can get out easily. Add sea sponge. No, people. No. To shadow dish for smaller hermit crabs can get out. First of all, no, people. Pet Smart, come on now. It says, what is that word? Sea sponge. No. No sea sponge, people. Please, no sea sponge. Sponges are bad for hermit crabs. Hermit crabs don't even like sponges. They don't like drinking off them. And also they can collect bacteria and mold and everything like that. So you're basically killing your hermit crab because they're going to be drinking or like eating the sponge plus eating mold and everything else. So please do not put a sponge inside of your water. They don't have sponges when they're in the ocean and on their own, like in their habitat. They don't have sponges all over the beaches and stuff like that. they drink from the water. They don't use sponges. So please do not put a sponge in your water. Just put regular fresh water and salt water in your bowls. And that is correct. Make sure that they are well good enough to where your hermit crab can get in and out and not get stuck, especially the small ones. So other than that, everything is good, but please do not put a sponge in your tank. Then last thing will be how to feed your hermit crabs. First thing I see very wrong is pellet food. No pellet, people. Pellets are bad for hermit crabs. They do not like pellets at all. They like fresh fruit, vegetables. Get your hermit crab food from Amazon, or get it from hermitcrabpatch.com, or get your food from also Hermit Grub. I've been recently going to Hermit Grub, and they absolutely have wonderful food, but please go to those 3 spots to get your food. Do not feed your hermit crab pellets. They do not like them. They are not good for them. They're not healthy. Please do not do that. It says powder greens and fruits. Feed your hermit crab dark leafy vegetables such as kale, broccoli, chopped fruits, apples, grapes, and bananas. That is also true. Put fruits and vegetables in your food bowl in the evening and remove leftovers in the morning. That is also true. You can do that to make sure nothing grows on it the next day. So you should basically put it in there one day and take it out the next day. The very last thing we're going to talk about will be, it says, the last thing was the water bowl, fresh water, and clean water. It should say fresh water and salt water. Other than that, they got it kind of correct, but I would take out clean water and put salt water and fresh water. The last thing we're going to take will be, how can I keep my hermit crab healthy? It says, hermit crabs can be vulnerable while molting because their bodies are soft. That is absolutely true. Thank you for saying that, PetSmart. Isolate them during this time. You really don't have to isolate them. They can probably do that themselves, especially if they're underneath the substrate. They're completely fine. I would just keep an eye on, make sure all the other hermit crabs are not bothering them. But that is pretty much true. It says contact your veterinarian or speak up to PetSmart if you notice anything like symptoms of like this. And then here's the symptoms: lost claws and limbs, excessive molting. I don't know if I would go to a veterinarian, to a PetSmart, to ask them about this, because half the time they don't know exactly about hermit crabs. So most of the time, if they're losing a hermit crab hermit crab claw or their leg, it's probably because, they had a bad stressful molt. So that is the one reason. But other than that, that is pretty much everything on this care guide. The last thing I'm just going to go ahead and brief real quick. It says shopping list. We're going to go through this really quick because this video is going to be super long. So it says glass and aquarium or terrarium. That is true. Aquarium stand, hood, and light fixture bulb. That is also true. Reptile tank, thermometer, and hydrometer under tank heater. That is not true. Should be on the side. It says aquarium gravel, reptile bedding. No gravel, people. It says water conditioner, and you would just use fresh water and salt water. And it says food bowls and shadow water bowls. That is true. Sea sponge and put in water bowl. Not true, people. Clean and spray bottle for water. Yes, that's true. And then it says decor like driftwood, rocks, and ornaments. No rocks, but driftwood would be good, and other ornaments. I'm not sure about the live plants. Like I said, I've never heard of anybody having live plants, but not sure. Other than that, that is pretty much everything. Then fruits and vegetables, and no pellets. But that is pretty much of the hermit crab guide. Sorry if this video is super long, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a big thumbs up, comment down below, and definitely don't forget to subscribe to my channel to see more. Until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!